You know that feeling, right? Ideas for your product, they just pour in, emails, chats, support tickets, little notes. It's kind of like trying to herd cats sometimes.
Totally. It's overwhelming. And you worry, are we missing the really good stuff? Is that killer feature request buried in an old email thread somewhere?
Exactly. Which is where these feature tracking tools are supposed to help, yeah. Bringing some order to that chaos.
Precisely. They act like a central hub. Instead of feedback scattered everywhere, you've got one place to, collect it, make sense of it, and actually use it. So valuable insights don't just vanish.
Right. So for this deep dive, we've been looking at a recent analysis that focused specifically on the free options out there.
Yeah, and the goal wasn't just to find any free tool, but ones that actually work long term. Ones that don't trap you with super low limits on the free plan just when you start needing it most.
Good point. You don't want to get set up and then immediately hit a paywall.
Yeah.
So what did this analysis find? Were there different types of free tools?
Yeah, it kind of broke them down into three main groups. First, you've got the ones aiming for the full loop, collecting feedback, organizing it, prioritizing, even communicating back to users. The whole shebang.
Okay.
Then there are tools more focused on the internal side, helping the team organize ideas and figure out priorities, maybe linking to development tasks.
Right. Less public facing.
Exactly. And the third group, mostly about having a public place to collect feedback, maybe with some simple voting to see what's popular, basic stuff.
Gotcha. But the core idea behind all of them is creating that feedback loop, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's intake, understand, demand, often through voting, prioritize, plan, communicate progress. Closing that circle is key.
Okay, so let's dig into those categories. Where should we start? Maybe with the ones trying to do it all. The end-to-end loop.
Sounds good. The analysis pointed to a couple of really strong contenders here, especially considering they're free.
Okay, who's first up?
Let's talk about Ducalis.io. This one really stood out in the analysis for its free plan.
Oh, yeah. What makes it so special?
Well, the generosity, mainly. On the free plan, you get unlimited ideas, unlimited boards to organize them, unlimited admins, and unlimited voters.
Wow, unlimited everything.
Yeah.
That's unusual for a free tier.
It really is. It tackles that scaling issue head on. You're unlikely to outgrow the core feedback collection and organization features just because you're successful.
Okay, that's impressive capacity. But what about actually deciding what to build? Does it help with prioritization?
It does. Big time. It supports several common prioritization frameworks out of the box. RICE, IC, WSJF.
Ah, the scoring models, reach, impact, confidence, effort, that kind of thing.
Exactly. Or you can set up your own custom scoring system if you have a specific way you like to evaluate things. Lots of flexibility there.
And does it play nice with development tools like Jira or Asana?
Yep, native one-way sync with Jira, Linear, Asana, and others. So you prioritize in Ducalis, and it can automatically push that info or link it to the corresponding task in your dev tracker.
Oh, that's huge. Cuts down on the manual copy pasting.
Definitely streamlines things. And it also has roadmap and basic changelog features built in.
So you can close the loop and tell users what's happening.
Right. So overall, a very comprehensive free package for that end-to-end process.
Okay, Ducalis.io sounds like a really strong contender. You mentioned there was another one in this category.
Yes. Product Road. It's another solid option if you need that full feedback loop, but you're on a tight budget.
How does it compare? What are the trade-offs with Product Road's free plan?
So Product Road also gives you unlimited boards and unlimited ideas, which is great. No cap on posts.
Okay, still generous on the content side.
But the main limitation is on users. The free plan restricts you to just one administrator and only 50 voters.
Ah, okay. One admin might be fine for a solo founder or a very small team, but 50 voters. That could get tight pretty quickly if you want broad feedback, couldn't it?
It could, yeah. Depends on your scale and how you plan to gather votes. For some, it might be perfectly fine starting out. For others, that voter limit might be a deal breaker fairly soon.
Makes sense. What about the communication side? Roadmaps, change logs.
Yep, Product Road includes those too. Roadmap and changelog features are there. Plus, it integrates with Slack, Intercom, and Zapier.
Well, Zapier integration is nice for custom workflows.
It is. So if that one admin, 50 voter limit works for you, Product Road offers a very capable end-to-end free solution.
Okay, so Ducalis.io and Product Road are strong choices if you want the whole feedback journey covered for free. with some differences in user limit.
Exactly.
What about that second category, the tools more focused on internal organization and prioritization, maybe for teams not quite ready for public boards or who handle that differently?
Right. Sometimes the immediate need is just getting your own house in order internally.
Hmm.
And for teams already using certain platforms, there are some very integrated options.
Like if you're already deep in the Atlassian world.
Precisely. For Jira users, Jira Product Discovery offers a pretty compelling free plan focused entirely on this internal piece.
Okay, so leveraging the existing Jira ecosystem, what does it do well?
Its real strength is in the custom scoring and prioritization. You can build quite sophisticated models to evaluate ideas based on your own criteria. And naturally, the integration with Jira issues is seamless.
Makes sense. Turn an insight into a development task easily.
Exactly. The free plan allows up to 3 creators, people who can set things up and manage the insights, which is decent for many product teams.
But the analysis mentioned it lacks public-facing stuff, right? No public voting board, no change log.
Correct. It's purely an internal tool designed to help the product team and stakeholders figure out what to build next, feeding directly into the main Jira backlog.
Gotcha. And you mentioned Ducalis.io fits here too.
Yeah, because Ducalis lets you keep ideas private. You can use all its scoring and prioritization features internally first, link things up, maybe sync to Jira or Asana before deciding to make certain boards public, so it offers that flexibility.
Right, you can start internal and expand later if needed. What else is there for internal focus?
Well, if your team uses Linear for development, there's Linear Customers. The free tier has a quota 250 issues or feedback items combined.
250. That's not huge, but maybe enough for some.
Could be, yeah. Its main advantage is that super tight integration with the main Linio backlog. Feedback sits right alongside the dev work. But again, like Jira Product Discovery, no public voting board. It's very much for teams already committed to Linear.
Okay. And what if a team uses Notion for everything? I know lots of teams use Notion for wikis, roadmaps, task management.
And yes, the analysis highlighted the Notion feature request template. This is interesting because it's not a dedicated tool, but leveraging Notion's flexibility.
So you build your own system inside Notion.
Essentially, yes. You can set up databases, create properties for scoring manually, link feedback items to product tasks using relations. Notion's free plan is quite generous for personal use or small teams, up to 10 guests.
That sounds incredibly flexible. Like you could build exactly what you want.
You could, but
There's always a but.
the but is it's entirely manual. You have to design it, build it, maintain it. There's no built-in automation for scoring, no public portal, no automatic status updates like dedicated tools offer. It requires significant effort to set up and run.
Right. High flexibility, but also high DIY efforts.
Exactly. Great for Notion power users who love tinkering, maybe less so for teams wanting something that just works out of the box.
Okay, that covers the internal focus pretty well.
Correct.
What about the third category? The ones primarily for getting that public feedback in, maybe with some basic voting.
Yeah, this is often where teams start. They just want an easy way to collect ideas from users and get a quick sense of what's popular.
Makes sense. So who are the key players here?
FeatureBase got a specific mention. Their big claim on the free plan is unlimited requests.
Unlimited requests, just like Ducalis and Product Road.
Yep. Seems to be a theme for some. FeatureBase keeps it simple. You get the requests in, users can vote, you can sort by votes. It also does basic status update emails.
Okay, simple, but potentially effective for just gauging interest. What are the coaches?
The free plan limitations are 1 board and 1 admin. Similar admin limit to Product Road, actually. So if you just need one place to collect public ideas and see votes, it's a straightforward option.
Gotcha. Any open source options in this space for teams who like to self-host?
Yes, the analysis pointed out Astuto and Fighter. Being open source and self-hosted, you basically get unlimited capacity ideas, users, boards, whatever you need.
The self-hosting advantage, no artificial limits.
Right. They typically offer vote-based ranking, sometimes basic roadmaps. The big trade-off, of course, is you have to manage the hosting, the updates, the security yourself.
Right, you need the technical chops, or at least the willingness to learn. And probably no easy integrations with tools like Jira.
Generally, no. Native integrations are usually lacking compared to the hosted SaaS products. It's a different philosophy.
Fair enough. What about platforms people might already be using, like, say, GitHub?
Good point. For developer-focused products or open-source projects, GitHub discussions can work quite well.
How so?
Well, you can enable discussions on a repo. It gives you unlimited threads. People can post ideas, comment, and use reactions like thumbs up as a lightweight voting mechanism.
Okay, so leveraging the existing community platform.
Exactly. And you can use labels and milestones for some basic organization or triage.
But I guess it's less structured than a dedicated tool. Might need more manual work to turn discussions into actionable priorities.
That's the main consideration. It's great for capturing raw input and seeing initial reactions, especially from a technical audience, but consolidating that into a proper roadmap takes more effort.
And we should probably mention Ducalis and ProductRoot again here, shouldn't we? Since they also do public boards well.
Absolutely. Ducalis, with its unlimited public boards, even on the free plan, is a great starting point for public feedback that you can then enhance with scoring later.
Right, scales nicely.
And ProductRoad, despite the single admin limit, still offers that unlimited post-public board, and crucially, it has automatic roadmap and changelog notifications tied to it. That communication piece is built in.
Okay, so plenty of options just for public collection and voting. Now, you mentioned earlier that the analysis also warned about some tools with really restrictive free tiers, ones to maybe be cautious about.
Yes, definitely worth highlighting. The analysis specifically flagged names like Feedback Fish, Allv, Sleek Plan, Acute, Product Board, Convis.
What's the common issue with their free plans?
Very low caps, often on the number of feedback items tracked users or admins. We're talking limits like, say, 25 or 50 suggestions total, or maybe only 10 tracked users.
Wow, 25 suggestions. You could hit that in a week.
Easily, or a single user feedback session. So while they might look appealing initially or work for a tiny project testing the waters, you could find yourself forced onto a paid plan almost immediately just to keep collecting feedback.
That's a really crucial warning. Don't get lured in by free if the limits make it unusable quickly.
Exactly. Think about your potential volume and growth.
So, stepping back a bit, looking across all these tools end-to-end, internal, public-facing, what are the absolute must-have capabilities for any modern feedback tool, free or not? What should people look for?
The analysis boiled it down to a few core things. First, universal intake. Can it pull feedback from multiple places? Public portal, widgets, maybe email forwarding.
Okay, capture everything.
Second, surfacing demand, usually voting, maybe comments, ways to see what resonates. Third, prioritization tools. Tags, categories, maybe those scoring frameworks we talked about.
Ways to actually decide what's important.
Right. Fourth, communication, roadmaps, changelogs, notifications, closing that loop. And finally, integration. Does it connect smoothly with your team's existing workflow, especially development tracker?
It seems like a solid checklist. Intake, demand, prioritization, communication, integration.
Yep, those cover the key stages of the feedback lifecycle.
And the analysis actually scored the tools based on criteria related to these points, didn't it?
Yeah.
What were the main scoring factors?
It did. They used 5 main criteria, equally weighted. One was the quality and flexibility of the prioritization frameworks and scoring options. Another was the free plan capacity, how many ideas, boards, admins you got.
Okay.
Then, the availability of native integrations on the free tier. Also, the feedback intake and voting user experience. Was it easy for users to submit and vote?
Makes sense.
And the last one, request status communication. How well could you communicate progress using things like roadmaps and changelogs?
Right. So based on those 5 areas, who came out on top overall in the free category?
According to this analysis, Ducalis.io had the highest overall score.
Back to Ducalis. What pushed it to the top?
Mostly that super generous free plan capacity combined with having robust built-in prioritization frameworks available right away without paying. It scored well across the board, but especially high on capacity and prioritization features.
Okay, that reinforces its position as a strong all-rounder. Now, the analysis didn't just give an overall score, did it? It also had quick hits on strengths and weaknesses for individual tools.
Yeah, some useful little summaries. For instance, Canny was noted for having a really polished board and changelog, very user-friendly.
But
the free plan is limited to 100 posts total, and there's no roadmap feature included for free.
okay, trade-offs. What else?
Better Mode is interesting because it blends community features with feedback, but the free tier's prioritization capabilities are fairly basic. Sleek Plan actually allows a good amount of feedback volume and has integrations, but again, single admin limit and no free roadmap.
So you start seeing patterns, often limits on admins, or features like roadmaps held back for paid plans.
Very common patterns, yes.
What about those platform-specific ones again? Quick recap.
Sure, Linear customers, great integration with Linear, but that 250 item quota and no public voting or roadmap. GitHub discussion's perfect for devs, unlimited, but needs manual work for real prioritization. Jira Product Discovery, powerful internal prioritization for Jira users, but 0 public features and only 3 creators free.
Right, and the others we touched on.
Let's see. Product Board known for strong prioritization tooling, but the free plan's feedback note limit is tiny. Acute actually has RICE scoring free, which is rare, but super low suggestion and admin limits. SupaHub, very bare bones free plan, 1 board, 1 admin.
Okay.
Canvas, unlimited boards and integrations sound good, but a low limit on tracked users can be a hidden bottleneck. The Notion template, super flexible, but all manual setup, no automation.
It really is a diverse landscape. Any others?
Just a couple more mention. ProdCamp generous on feedback volume, but limited admins and no built-in scoring free. Alvi good at release notes and communication, but a very restrictive free plan overall. And Feedbackfish minimalist widget for quick capture, but misses lots of core features and has a tiny submission cap.
Wow. Okay, that's a lot of tools, a lot of nuances. So after diving this deep, what's the main thing you think listeners should walk away with?
I think the biggest takeaway is that, yes, there are genuinely good free feature tracking tools out there, quite a few actually, but there's no single best one. It really hinges on your specific situation, meaning your team size, how tech-savvy you are, whether you need public feedback now or just internal organization, how much feedback you expect, what tools you already use. All of those factors matter.
And definitely pay attention to those free tier limits, like the analysis stressed. Think about growth.
Absolutely critical. Don't pick something you'll outgrow in a month if you can avoid it. Look for a tool where the free plan gives you room to breathe and scale a bit before you have to consider paying.
Right. So maybe a final thought for everyone listening.
Yeah, maybe take a second and think. What's the most painful part of our feedback process right now? Is it just collecting it all? Is it figuring out what actually matters? Is it communicating back to users?
Pinpoint the biggest need first.
Exactly. And then look at the free tools we discussed that really excel in that specific area. Because chances are, with all these options available, there's a free tool out there that can make a significant difference to how you handle user feedback without you needing to spend any money right away. You can likely get started and improve things quite a bit for free.